guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you some criteria that you should be looking for if you are trying to find a profitable product to sell on Amazon FBA in 2024. Now, there are lots of things that make a good product and lots of things that make a bad product. So in this video, my goal is to kind of give you a little bit of a framework and some metrics around the types of characteristics of a good product. So if you are interested in starting your Amazon business and you want to do private label, this is going to be the perfect video for you. And if you do like this video, I would appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And with that, let's just jump right into how to know if a product is a good one or not. So the number one thing you need to be looking for when it comes to starting a business, not just Amazon FBA, but any online business, any e-commerce business, is to have knowledge of the market. And when I say knowledge of the market, that means, is there demand for the product that you are looking to sell? Now, when it comes to Amazon, the best way to identify demand is by looking at how many times a product is being searched for on Amazon every month. There is a software that you can use to look at all of the data and all of the metrics. I go over these in some of my product research videos that are already up on my channel, so check those out if you want more of a demonstration. But this is more so just to describe what you should be looking for. And so that is what I mean, is a product that has high demand and many searches per month on Amazon. Now, there are millions of people who shop on Amazon every month, and if you are trying to sell a product, you need to make sure that there are at least a couple thousand people who are looking for that specific product that you are trying to sell. So high demand and high searches per month should be number one on your list of what you should be looking for with a good Amazon product. The second thing that you should be looking for is a product that is low in competition. So when you are looking for products on Amazon, it is very unlikely that you are going to find a product that there is no competition for. There are going to be other sellers who are already selling the product that you are looking to sell. By nature of this business, and simply by the simple fact that this is private label, that means that you are selling something that is already selling well. And so there's no way that you're going to be the only person selling that product, which is okay. That is why it's important that when you are selling a product, you try to find something where there are not too many other sellers who are selling with high reviews. So what I mean by that is you can look at the average number of sellers using the software that I mentioned before. It's called Helium 10. I'll link it below in the description for you guys, but it can literally tell you what the average number of reviews for a specific keyword is. And so if I were you and I was starting out on Amazon, this is also what I teach the students in my program and in my membership, also linked below, is that you should be looking for products with reviews that are under 200. Under 200 is kind of a safe place to be, meaning that when you go and you launch your product, even though you are not going to have any or many reviews in the beginning stages, you know, you're gonna have 0, then you might get a couple of friends and family to leave you some, you might have 5, but you're still not gonna have tons. But if you are going up against other sellers who have reviews that are on the lower end, let's call it 100 reviews, maybe even 200 reviews, you still will be able to compete with them because there's not such a drastic difference compared to if you were going up against sellers with hundreds and thousands of reviews. Now you look like baby fish because you only have 5 reviews and they have 5,000, right? That's just a harder sell to get the customer to choose yours. So low reviews and low competition is definitely one of the most important factors when you're looking for products to sell on Amazon. You should also be looking for products that are not trendy and not seasonal. When I'm saying trendy, I mean products that are very overhyped. They're only in trend, that's why they're trendy, for a limited amount of time. So think about the past. What types of products have we seen on social media that have been trendy? Think about charcoal toothpaste, think about slime kits, think about bath bombs, think about fidget spinners. Those were all very trendy products, and people did make a lot of money selling those products, but the demand has decreased significantly because it was only for a short amount of time. Now, if you're building a business around a product, you want to make sure that people are going to continue to desire that product and that it's going to continue to be in demand over time, and not just something that you're going to make a quick buck off of, because you never know when it's going to go out of style, when it's not going to be trendy anymore, and you don't want your whole business and your whole income and livelihood to depend on a trendy product. It is much more safe to find a product that is evergreen, something that sells all year round, something that people are going to want and need no matter what time of the year it is and no matter what goes on in the world. So when I talk about seasonal products, it's very much for the same reason. It's that predictability factor that is very hard to gauge when it comes to a seasonal product. For example, if you're trying to sell a Christmas tree, that's going to be in demand for pretty much a little bit of October, November, and a little bit of December. And then from there, you're not going to be able to sell product for 9 months out of the year. If you time it really, really well and you do a very good job of your inventory management and you're more experienced, you might make $500,000 in 3 months and not have to sell any other product. But for a beginner seller, you have no experience, you have no idea how long the product is going to take to get here, and you don't really have enough of an expertise to be able to go with the seasonal product. It's very, very risky, it's very hard to time, and so I very much so encourage you to stay away from these seasonal products. Look for something that no matter what is going on, no matter what time of the year it is, people are going to want to buy that product. The next thing that I would look for out of a good product for Amazon is something that is small in size and something that is lightweight. When I say small in size, I mean something that is smaller than what could fit into a shoebox, and something, and honestly, the smaller the better, because even that is a little bit more on the large side. So you want something as little as possible, as compact as possible, because it will save you a lot of money in Amazon fees and also in shipping fees from China. And so the smaller you can get it, the better off you're going to be for your bottom line and your profitability of selling that product. Lightweight is also a metric that I use for that same reason. The lighter the product is, the less it will cost to ship and the less Amazon will charge you to handle the product. So when I'm saying lightweight, I mean something that's like 2 pounds or less is ideal. You can go up to 3 pounds, but anywhere above there, you're going to start to get into, heavier than ideal territory, and that is just going to make it harder for you to be profitable. It's not impossible, but I'm talking about the ideal first product for a beginner Amazon seller who does not have a lot of experience. These are the things that you should be looking for. Now, while we are talking about profitability, and just for those of you who don't know, let me just real quick explain what profitability is. It means how much money you are making after all of the expenses are removed from your revenue. Revenue is how much you're selling in sheer dollars. So if you are making $1,000 in revenue, your profitability on that might be 25%, and 25% of $1,000 would be $250. So that is what your profitability is. It's how much money you're actually making after the expense of the product, after the Amazon fees, after the ads, the shipping, so on and so forth. That is kind of your bottom line. And when we are looking at those types of products, especially for a beginner, you want to go for something that is low cost. When I say low cost, I mean a product that is going to cost you no more than $5 a unit to start. And that $5 includes the product, any bundled items, the packaging, and the shipping. So your landed cost, what it's going to cost you to buy, ship, and get the product to the US should be $5 or less. I really encourage you to try to stick to this number. Reason being is for your very first product, you don't want to go over the top and overspend on an initial product. Mainly because you don't know if you're going to want to restock the product, you don't know if you're going to want to change your brand, and you don't want to be stuck with a very expensive product that puts you on the hook in terms of dollars, right? You want something that is low risk, low cost to start out, get the proof of concept, make a couple $1,000, and then from there you can take more chances with your next product if you would like. But with your very first one, I want you to do it the conservative way, the safe way. That way, you're not putting yourself too much at risk in case the product doesn't take off the way you want it to, which obviously is the goal. And if you do kind of follow my product research tutorials, you should be in good shape. But anything can happen, and I'm all about mitigating risk. And so that is what I would advise, something $5 or less per unit. And by the way, I do have a video on my channel that breaks down how much money you will need to start selling on Amazon. But I'll just tell you right now that you are going to want to start with around 500 units of your very first product. So if you follow my suggestion and you find something that is, let's call it a $4 product, and you buy 500 units, that's 4 times 500, that's $2,000 for your product. And so if you go up and up and up, let's say you're looking at an $8 product, a $10 product, it'll get very, very easy to get out of hand. And now you're spending $10,000 on an initial product, and that's just not the right way to approach a first product, in my opinion, right? This is all according to my experience with selling on Amazon and my experience with teaching beginners how to sell on Amazon. We've had a lot of really successful students in the program, and so I know a little bit of something about what works and what doesn't, and trust me, that is definitely the right approach, is to be a bit more conservative. So $5 or less per unit and you should be in good shape. Now, this is probably the most important metric outside of making sure that there is demand for your product, which is differentiating your product. Now, what do I mean when I say differentiating? I mean that you are finding a way to set your product apart from your competitors. You do not want to sell the exact same thing as the other people who have already launched a product, because then they already have a head start. They already have reviews and you don't. When you launch your product, you're not going to have any. And so if you don't do a good job of setting your product apart, you are just going to blend in with everyone else, and you're going to be at a disadvantage because you don't have any reviews the way that they have reviews. So what you want to do is make sure that you are taking that extra step to bundle your product in some way or not bundle, but differentiate your product in some way. That was is it a Freudian slip? If you know what I'm talking about, you know, and I don't think I even used that correctly. But what I'm trying to say is I said bundling because that is my personal favorite way of differentiating products. You don't have to do it that way. But if you are trying to make your product stand out and set it apart from your competitors, there are lots of things that you can do, including bundling, meaning that you're adding other accessory products to your main product so that your customer feels like they're getting a better deal. You can also improve the design of a product. You can improve the material that is being used, the ease of use. There are different ways that you can kind of get your product to look a little different, act a little different, perform a little bit better than your competitors. And a really great and easy way to find out what differentiators your customers would actually want is by going to your competitors' reviews and then reading what people are saying about the product. Normally when I do this, I go straight to the critical, like 1 or 2 star reviews, and that way I can see what people really have a problem with, what they dislike about the product. That way I can make the necessary improvements for mine, and then when I launch, I go over the top with, you know, advertising and showing why mine is better. Everyone else is complaining because the competitors have flimsy materials. I make sure that mine is extra durable. And then when I make my listing, I have infographics showing how durable mine is. I have, you know, these lifestyle photos showing how durable mine is. So that is a very, very good way of allowing your product to kind of stand above the rest of the items that are on the first page. And that is something that will definitely help your Amazon product take off and perform really well, is, you know, making a very, very strong differentiator. Now, outside of that, there are just a couple of little tips I can give you as far as the types of products you should be avoiding. And for me personally, I do not like selling electronic products. Too much liability. I do not like selling glass products. They are too fragile. Clothing items are very highly returned products that I would stay away from at all costs as well. I personally do not gravitate towards anything that is consumable, anything someone is going to eat, like grocery items or snacks or drinks, supplements, anything like that is an absolute no-go for a beginner. Way too competitive, very, you know, risky in terms of liability, and just not a headache that you want to deal with. Again, we are going for simplistic, we're going for products that we know people want and something that we will have an easier time selling. So I encourage you to kind of try your best to keep things as simple as possible with this very first product. You can find unique products that are simplistic. So when I say unique products, I mean maybe not something that is in everybody's home, but something that a very specific type of person would have in their home, right? Someone who makes homemade pastries might have pastry boxes in their home because it's what they use for their hobby or for their job or whatever. the average person probably doesn't have that, but it is still a simple product. It's just a paper product, right? So try to think outside of the box a little bit. And if you haven't already seen my video that I posted a couple of weeks ago on unique product ideas or product niches, I definitely encourage you to go and check that out. I mentioned a couple of different, kind of out of the box hobbies that people have. Things like calligraphy or fencing are a couple of the ones that I mentioned in that video, and that can kind of lead you down the rabbit hole into finding more unique product ideas that are accessories for these, kind of more different niches and things that you might not come across every day. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you learned a little bit about what things you should be looking for in a good product versus a bad product on Amazon. I know that you can do this. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but everything that I said in this video was meant to point you in the right direction and to make sure that you are on the right track when you're doing your product research. So if you enjoyed the video, again, I would appreciate if you could subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.